All right, what's up, guys? Sanch here, and welcome back to another episode of Bodybuilding News Today. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about the 212 class at this year's 2020 Chicago Pro. So if you're interested in hearing the complete lineup and my thoughts on each competitor and my predictions on who's going to place in the first call-out, definitely make sure you guys stay tuned. All right, guys, so we have the scorecard here. From what we know, obviously we have a little bit of time for the 212 before they get on stage here, a little over a week out. And from what we have here, we have 11 competitors. Quite a few of them are returning competitors from other shows this year, so it's going to be exciting to see how they have improved or not throughout the season. And then we also have a lot of newcomers and even some pro debuts. So let's go ahead and get right into it with the first guy, and probably one of the dark horses to win this whole thing is Noel Adame. I think that Noel Adame has made a lot of improvements this season, especially on Instagram. It looks like he has brought a lot of good conditioning. He's going to bring a lot of good conditioning, and his midsection has come down a lot compared to the last time we saw him on stage. The last time we saw him on stage, where he did not place at the Olympia. So he is an Olympia level competitor, so that is something important to keep in mind. He also won the 2019 Indy Pro, so it's kind of it gives you an idea exactly where he'd be placing, and he also placed 13th at the New York Pro in 2019. I think that Noel has a lot of potential in placing very, very well at this show. I think he has the legs, he has the chest, he has the arms, and it looks like his midsection is controlled. Not so much last year, but it looks like he's made some serious improvements. Now, I'm not saying that it was blown out in any stretch of the imagination last year at the Mr. Olympia. He has a very controlled midsection. Maybe the words I'm looking for is it was watery. Maybe he didn't have the greatest conditioning last year. So Noel is one of my top picks for, I'm going to say, the top four. I think he has the possibility. He has to win the entire show, but I'm definitely going to put him in the top four. Next competitor we have on the list is Marco Cardona. Now, this is a fairly young competitor. It looks like he's only been competing for about 2 years now. And the most recent placing, his best placing, he placed 9th in 2 different shows last year at the Europa Dallas and also the Puerto Rico Pro. Now, what can we say about this gentleman here? I think he definitely missed the mark in terms of conditioning at the Europa Dallas last year in the 212 class, where he placed 9th, obviously. I think that he has a lot of room to improve with conditioning. I think he has a nice frame. I think he could definitely use a little bit more in the leg department, respectfully. Obviously, like in all these videos, I shouldn't have to say it, but I'm going to say it anyways. These are pro-level athletes, and I am just a journalist, so I'm not saying that I am better. I'm just giving you guys an honest analysis of these competitors. And based off of that, I do see Marco placing potentially in the top 8 if he brings some good conditioning. The only thing I'm worried about is he might have, his legs still might be a little undersized from what I've seen recently. Next, we have Jason Hebert. And it looks like Jason Hebert is coming off of a pro card win at the North Americans along with Nick Walker. So we have 2 different guys from that show that are going to be competing this year, fresh off of a pro card win. Now, obviously, Jason did not win the super heavyweight. He was the men's middleweight champion and pro card recipient. And for the most part, I do like his physique. He has a nice streamlined physique. The only caveat I would give is I think that his back, it's not shallow. If you look at the picture I have here of his back double bicep, it almost looks like he has that Rami effect where he's not opening up that lat spread. In this terms, it's a back double, but it looks like he's pinching his shoulders together and he's not actually opening it up and driving those elbows forward. It's kind of interesting to see that. So hopefully he can address that this year. Hopefully, Jason, if you're watching the show, obviously I'm assuming you have coaches and stuff for this, but if you can just open up those shoulders on that back double, it's really going to widen everything out. So definitely do that. Look forward to seeing some improvements there. Next one, we have our boy, a returning competitor. He's been very busy this season. Kevin Johnson, aka One Man's Talent, over on Instagram. Obviously, all the Instagram tags are going to be in the description with the names, so you guys can just copy paste. I try to make it easy for you guys. Now, last time we saw Kevin Johnson was at the Tampa Pro, where he placed fifth. A very beautiful physique, maintaining a vacuum in a lot of his holds. He has very wide lats, a good set of arms, shoulders, chest, and whatnot. Good legs as well, and he's also a nice poser. He looks nice on stage when he's doing his shots. So hopefully we can see him in this first call out. I can't see him outside of the first call out, but you never know when it comes to conditioning. Things happen, but knock on wood for Kevin Johnson, of course. I wish him the best, and hopefully he improves on his placings from fifth in Tampa, and he gets some more points, hopefully looking towards that Olympia qualification. Next competitor we have is Austin Karr, who placed at the 2019 Tampa Pro in the 212 class, fourth place. And that was actually a very stacked lineup in 2019. So hopefully we can see a more improved version of Austin. Looking at his photos, he has I know I say it fairly often, but he really does have a beautiful physique. High lat insertions reminiscent of a Dennis Wolf, but then he also has big legs and a good chest. So he has a very nice streamlined physique, very X-tapered, which sometimes isn't what judges are looking for. But obviously he's been rewarded in the past at big shows like Tampa. So hopefully we can see another repeat in a first call out, a high first call out for Austin Karr here at the 2020 Chicago Pro in Atlanta. And the next guy we have is Eric Langlois, or Lawis. I'm not really sure how to pronounce his name. A fairly new competitor for me. I haven't seen him previously, and it looks like he won his pro card in 2018 at the NPC North American Championships in the 40 plus middleweight category. So I do not see him in the first call out, but I wish the best of luck for Eric here. It's always cool to see some of these seasoned veterans coming in and really showing what they can do against some of these younger, bigger talent names. And our big one here, one of my favorite competitors ever, and also one of my top 3 picks for this year's Chicago Pro, is going to be Jason Lowe. Now, I used to say Jason Lowe, but finally I figured out how to actually say his name. And the last time we saw Jason was at the 2020 New York Pro, which was actually in Tampa, confusingly enough, but he placed second. And that was a huge feather in Jason's cap, because the last time we saw him was at Tampa, at the same venue just earlier in that year, actually July 7th, and then the New York Pro was September 9th. So very close in succession. And Jason went from 11th in the 212 to second place in the 212. And a lot of people had him winning that show. The thing is, when you go from 11th to second, sometimes those judges aren't going to give you that nod, and it looks like that's what happened. I think he could have won that whole show, and I think he could win this whole show. It really comes down to conditioning. Jason isn't going to be the biggest guy on stage, but I know he has some of the prettiest lines, and if he can bring that conditioning just a tad bit better than New York, I really think he could outclass the mass at this year's Chicago Pro. And the one everyone's been waiting for, the one everyone's been talking about, the 212 Pro debut of Keone Pearson. Now, obviously with him being a pro debut, all we have is Instagram photos and pictures from when he competed in the classic physique. So we do have quite a few photos of him on the screen here, hitting a lot of various amounts of shots, and it looks like he's put on a lot of mass. I think that he's made some good improvements to his legs. I definitely see him in the top 4. A lot of people were saying he's going to win this thing, but after looking at Noel, I don't know if he's going to get that nod. And then we also have competitors like Austin Karr and Jason Lowe. all these guys are going to be top level competitors for this show. They're all going to be knocking at the door. I think it's a complete open show. There's big guys, there's nice lined guys. So it's going to be I think it's going to be a very competitive lineup. And I don't know. A lot of people are saying Keone Pearson is going to be walking away with this show. I do not think so. I think that there's a lot of people in the show that are going to give him run for his money, including Adam Young, which we will get to in a second. But before that, let's talk about Steve Thayer. And the last time we saw Steve Thayer was at the 2020 Tampa Pro in the 212 class. I'm not sure if he didn't place or if he actually did get 16th. From what I know, there's only 15 places in a given show, and then the 16th place is everyone else. So, and respectfully, you can see why he did not place. He has a very nice midsection. His abs are very well defined in this most muscular shot, but the shots, in my opinion, that matter the most, front double, back double, front lat and rear lat, and sometimes a side chest, he does look fairly watery. Looks like he's not in condition as much as he could be. And also, I don't think he shouldn't have placed at all. I think he does have a nice physique. Maybe the judges didn't see him. He didn't get that second look. Now, like I said earlier, Adam Young. Now, Adam Young is a recent competitor. We saw him fairly recently at the New York Pro, where he placed 4th. So again, Adam Young is going to be another competitor in that mix. We have 5 very competitive competitors that are going to be all battling for that first place call for that win. And I think that Adam Young, respectfully, I think he does have a chance of winning this show. The thing is, I want to see more conditioning out of Adam. He has a very big, wide, somewhat blocky physique, but I think there is I think there is room for Adam to improve. I think if he brings his legs up just a bit more, and also, like I said in other videos, if he improves his posing, especially on that back double bicep, I'm not a big fan of how he holds that shot. And I don't know if that's more of a surgical issue or a structural issue where he can't actually pose the way I like. But he does look good. It looks like his conditioning has been fairly consistent throughout the years. So I do not want to count Adam Young out of the top 5. There's a good chance that he could surprise us and get in that top 3 as well. And the last competitor on the list before I get into the footnotes is Darryl Young. And this one's going to be a little bit confusing for me. We're just going to stumble through this one as much as we can. Now, Daryl Young is obviously a 212 competitor. The last time we saw him was September 9th at the 2020 Pittsburgh Pro Masters class. And that's a 40 plus, and he got 4th. So I don't know if this is the wrong Daryl Young. I do apologize if it is. I can only work with what I have here, and based off the NPC News Online website, you guys know how I feel about them. This is the only Daryl Young with that spelling in their repertoire. If that is the right word? So I do not see Daryl placing fairly well at this show. He is an older gentleman, and from just some of the shots from his most recent show, which is a little over a month ago, he did not have very good conditioning, and that being his only show, it does make me worry. So now that will pretty much be the end of the show. I do appreciate you guys stopping in and watching the video. Just a couple footnotes. I really, really appreciate you guys coming in and watching these videos. The channel has absolutely blown up. We've had over 20 plus subscribers in the last 2 days. It's been absolutely amazing. The views have gone crazy lately, and we really are moving towards monetization, which very much excites me. Obviously, once we hit that point, we're going to be doing a lot more giveaways. I know before in the past, I don't know if you guys were here, but we did a lot of supplement giveaways as my channel was mostly a supplement reviewing channel. But now as we move more into bodybuilding journalism, it looks like the channel is really starting to find its rhythm. So I do appreciate you guys checking out the video, checking out this channel. If you guys enjoy bodybuilding content, definitely consider subscribing. Every new subscriber really does help. And if you guys want to support me on a personal level, besides watching my videos, I mean, that's already enough. You guys can go over to goldenarrownutrition.com and use my sponsored athlete code SANJ15 at checkout, and they'll save you some money. And that will do it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We will be doing a post video for the Europa Pro, for the Open and the 212, but I will be out of town for 2 days, so there will be a little break if you guys are still watching. But I'll see you guys in a few more days once I get back from a very small vacation. So take care, guys, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.